What's up, everybody? It's GuantanamoJ, your favorite Albion online content creator here. We hit an unbelievable milestone this month. We got the YouTube playbutton creator award. So grateful for you all. YouTube does a vetting process to make sure everything was done by the book, and I couldn't have done it without each and every one of you. Let's continue to grow together. Just as exciting this month, we're starting our 90-day premium Albion online giveaway. Rules for this are that you need to have an America's server account or create one, and then just subscribe and comment. Huge congrats to JessGuy3681, our first 90-day premium giveaway winner. Going forward, the first video each month will be the 90-day premium giveaway, and then the following videos that same month will be the 8.3 item of choice giveaway per usual. Don't forget, Twitch channel drops July 20th. Mark your calendars now. Enough messing around. Let's get into the video. Alright, kicking it off with the fight against a 7-4, 8-4, 8-3 geared, one-handed Mace. We're jumping right into it. He goes in with an opening W and then goes for the reflect. I counter his jacket with my jacket. Notice how I hit that bleed damage. That's because I want to actually counteract some of his reflect with my reflect. Continuing to trade here, notice how I hit all of my auto attacks between his W's and E's, trying to get as much efficiency out of that CD as possible. We are fighting through the Cultist Cow a little bit, which is a little risky to be honest, but we don't really have much of a choice. He's going to outpace us in damage if we don't continue to keep up. There we go again, using my jacket to counter his jacket. Continuing to trade, make sure we stop any of his auto attacks and Q attacks, throwing that reflect. Purge his boots to prevent the escape. We have the upper hand. One more Cultist Cow. I'm actually going to use my boots to heal through it a little bit. Go ahead and finish with a big combo. Pounce. 1 Q. He stops it with a Z and then 2 Qs after that. Boom. 3 Q finish. Incredible fight. Maxed out HP, cooldowns, and defense on the weapon. Kept it, and then additional 40 million of gear. Awesome fight. Jumping into a 6-4, 8-3, 1v1 with an Infinity Blaze. Got the Hellion jacket and the Cultist Cow on. Huge counter to the prowling build. Honestly, this is super scary to fight against. Really hard to brawl. The stats are absolutely maxed. He's using max HP, max ability damage at about 14%, and then also lifesteal with an additional 8% there. Plan of attack is to use my jacket against his jacket, use my boots to create some space when he uses the cultist cow, and then brawl with my panther abilities against his E abilities, which are super interesting. That W as well is going to present some trouble. Okay, opening it up with the first trade. He's going to open with an E ability there, which is going to create good brawl. Jumps in. I use some good W efficiency there. He goes right into the E2. I actually end up using my jacket to counteract the cultist cow and some of the E. So now there's the reflect. I'm just going to go ahead and purge that. Usually we would normally save the purge for the boots if we were winning the brawl, but we might as well use it on the reflect here. I'm actually going to hit him with 3 Qs, mostly because if we continue to brawl through it, his E, especially with that cooldown ability, is going to be massive trouble as we continue to fight through that. So now I definitely have the advantage because with his shorter cooldowns, he would have had the advantage if we might have continued, but I have my Panther back. He actually wastes an E1 there. That's going to go ahead and cool off before he gets a chance to brawl. I create great space without having to use my boots. Now we're going to go in for a final attack. He goes in with a W. I use my boots. There he goes, running away. No need to purge. Brawl. I hit him with the Qs. He hits me with a cultist cow. Create a little bit of space. Keep fighting through. Use the jacket there. Create a good opportunity for an execute. Uses the reflect. A little bit of a risky move to dive through it, but the second I saw that E come up, I knew I had to finish the fight. Otherwise, I was toast. Finally, an awesome trash rate. That weapon is a hot weapon right now, and the stats were max. Sold it back for a tidy profit. This next clip is pretty nuts. I was actually in a big camp prowling around for a potential fight, mount up right there, and then as I am about to actually leave the mist, I find a potentially AFK or baiting player that's just in an 8-3 all MP one-handed dagger set. So of course we're going to dismount prepared for either an epic fight or the chance to take an incredibly valuable all MP 8-3 set from an AFK player, which we know anyone is going to do. So looks like they really are AFK, which is pretty wild. Go in to set up a kill. There's no undead cape. Text notification there we got to cover with the subscribe button. Actually sprints away mid execute, and we go ahead and just finish it off there. 40 mil of loot. Sorry about it, GG's. I've been looted and ratted like that many times, so it do be kill or be killed out here in the mist. On to the next fight. You see a max 8-4 all geared out Deathgivers on America's server. It's either going to be Juan, Nemesis, potentially QWE, or others. So this one's actually QWE, which is an extremely talented player. All credit to them. We fought many times with incredible weapons. Thought this was Juan at first, but turns out it wasn't. So they are using the Q2, that jump with the Deathgivers, to stack up for that instant E cooldown. I would normally use polymorph against it, but I'm using the W1 because I'm not as worried given there aren't a ton of mobs around for the pre-stack. They open up with an E there, which is good for me because I have an opportunity to inflict some damage with my combos between that E cooldown. Great job preventing my pounce there actually, but I have the upper hand now that there's cooldowns and I'm brawling through it. Use my jacket to prevent more stacks and then also that auto attack damage. Hits us with a double E. I actually go ahead and purge the boots there instead of the jacket, knowing that I have the upper hand in the fight. Jacket comes along, we create incredible space, fight through it a little bit. We were able to mitigate the healing really well. So now we have the upper hand, we go in for the pounce and 3Q combo. And the fight, incredible job, and we get over 100 mil of loot there, so that's just an awesome outcome. GG's, all respect, weapon alone is worth over 120 mil silver, so awesome outcome. Here we have Juan, actually, in the same night, 2 8-4 max Deathgivers. I saw Juan running towards me in a big camp in the middle of the map. Actually panicked a little bit, knew I had to create some space. He was using Q1, so I want to go ahead and create a little bit of space. I want to use polymorph because last time I faced him, I was using my W1 against his Q1. I'm prepped. I'm ready for this one. I got my Pure Mist Snapper on. Let's get going. So knowing I changed to my polymorph, he goes back to the W2, looking to pre-stack in the camps with some mobs. I actually end up getting trapped between him and an 8-0 overcharged Frost Staff, which is super annoying. For some reason, they end up teaming up on me, which is really interesting, given he's the 8-4 max. I'm in 7-4, 8-3, and have not OC'd, so don't know what is going on there. Weird that he also went along with it. Rats all over the place. This is no time to risk hundreds of millions of loot against each other. They are teaming. He doesn't seem to want to kill the rat, which is, again, super weird. So runs past it, chases me. The frost is still going for me for some reason. I'm going to go ahead and reset, find him on the mount so we can actually have a proper fight. Spoiler alert, no one gets a kill here. I actually end up chasing him out of the mist after a couple good trades. Don't know why I didn't stay for a fight. Usually you see guys like this going and killing whatever they can eat in the mist. So honored to be someone that can drive away a maxed out player like this. So I dismount, he dismounts in response. I go ahead and make sure I'm recording because anytime you fight Wand in the mist, of course you're going to want to make sure that you're recording it. So Deathgivers being Deathgivers, of course he needs his 3Q pre-stack pre-fight. He goes in, hits an opening E with no cooldowns. I create some good space, avoid a Q, and then actually pounce right on his E as he passes through me. He resets with a sprint, thinking that I'll either purge his boots and he'll be able to use his mercenary jacket unfettered, or he actually wants to reset the fight. So instead of letting him use a pre-stacked E, I hit him with a polymorph. He does an amazing job of getting that Q off right before he transforms. I see that as an opportunity to jump back in, create a little bit of space, uses his W, goes back in for a Q stack. I silence him immediately, create a little bit of space with my boots. So using the exact amount of space I need, I hit him with the polymorph just enough where I can get that pounce off on him to start the fight. He Qs away, hits me with a W, goes back in for a little bit of a brawl. I have a great advantage, have most of my CDs, got my polymorph back. He knows that. He immediately starts queuing away. Once he hits that E on a mob, that's when you know Deathgivers are resetting the fight. Never in my life did I think I would be good enough to make one of the best to ever do it, leave the mists. All love, all respect, but Juan, I'm ready whenever you are. Next up, we've got a 6-4-8-3 carving 1v1 with one of the best to ever do it on the carving side. We're using poly, he's using reflect on the W's. Open up with the poly, knowing he'll use his E first. Use sprint, create a little bit of space. I'm using the Carleon cape for the instant Q reset. There's the E. I'm saving my pounce for when he doesn't have the reflector, when I can hit him when he's in my poly like that. Solid advantage with CDs coming back here. Classic mob interference there. I know he's going to try to hit me with the E when I'm in my Panther form to get that advantage on the fact that I have nearly no defense in the Panther form, and so I go transform here. There's the E, actually does a great job avoiding my pounce in the process. I hit him with the double Q. It's pretty even now. I actually miss a poly there, which is very unfortunate. Pop my potion. He uses his reflect. I purge his reflect. Hit him with Qs. Keep using some of my auto attacks. I use my jacket there a little bit preemptively. He reflects my poly, and just so you know, the carving reflect actually works to cancel the poly. Most people know, so knowing he doesn't have his reflect, I'm going to hit 3 Qs there to get the upper hand. The fight's too close to simply not take advantage of that. I see he's still hitting me in invis, so I'm going to take advantage of that. I hit him with the poly. It's really, really close here. We're both getting CDs back. I imagine his E is pretty close here. I know for a fact he has his reflect. So it's pretty tight. He uses his E. He has his reflect. He's waiting. He uses it preemptively. I time it. Use the poly right after that. He uses his jacket reflect, and then boom, we end it with a Q. GG's extremely close fight. Horrible trash rate. And we are on to our next clip. I'm prowling an invis in one of the big camps, and then all of a sudden I see a 6-4-8-3 carving using Assassin's Jacket with Reflect and then a Cultist Cow. Really interesting matchup. Looks like he doesn't have a lot of spec on some of the weapon and gear specs, and so I take advantage of that. Open it up with a jacket. He uses his jacket reflex. We're brawling pretty hard. I have the upper hand and I have my combo, so I chase boots for boots, and I use some of that speed boost. He uses E to get away, which means that I have won the fight effectively. Keep up with the Q pass through, use my W to create the opportunity to hit my combo with the pounce, and then 3 Qs, and he doesn't have undead on, so easy finish there. Great fight. Jumping into 1v1 with an 8-3 OC, so 8-4 equivalent one-handed dagger. He actually beat me in a 1v1 right before this, just full disclosure, but I did learn very quickly how to counter him. Was very surprised by the ability for him to use his W in my Panther form to pause my attacks and then use that E and jacket combo to quickly deal a ton of damage. So we learned quick. We go back for a 1v1. This is the second of 2. We open it up with a good advantage. He's waiting for his CDs. That's why he's creating space there. I have all of my CDs except for my boots. I'm going to pursue. There he goes with the Hunter Jacket E combo. I actually use my jacket to counter it. Surprisingly, it's still very, very even. Normally, I'd expect my jacket to counter it better than that, but he cancels my poly, which is really interesting. I purge his boots and then go in for the final combo to finish it off. GG's, solid trash rage. Head air is a one-handed dagger legend. On to the next fight. Here we go. This one actually I remember is a catch and kill on a 5-4, 7-3 one-handed spear. So there we go, opening up with a dismount. EEs, then sprints away. Not much to say. We catch up. Go hit him with a pounce. We miss it. Go in with the Q into a W. Got full stacks. There's actually a 6-3 carving right there that's looking at ratting us, so a little bit dangerous. We dismount him. Surprisingly enough, he doesn't go for me, the higher target. He goes for the spear, hits him with a W, keeps him in place, which I take a little bit of advantage of. Hit him with a combo. He sprints away. We hit him with those 3 Qs and finish the fight pretty quick. Not much to say. Immaculate trash rate. Everything survived. We sold it back. Tidy profit on the weapon as well. Great stats on the 5-4 spear. Good fight. On to the next one. This one is actually a Deus Camarada. He is an amazing player on the America server. Comes in as an 8-3 spear. Goes into overcharge. We open up with a brawl. Hits a good E to create some space there. I chase. We don't hit the pounce, but we use it to get close. I know I can out-brawl an 8-3 one-handed spear. When he OCs, it does present a little bit more of a challenge. So this fight ends up culminating in a reset, actually. I purge his boots there. We continue to brawl. He's using the crippled W, so I don't let him cripple my boots, which is awesome. I don't quite finish the fight. I accidentally popped his undead cape and didn't hit my Q somehow. I know for a fact he's very low health. So yeah, there he is at 25 HP. It's just a chase down now. Let's get through this. Okay, so we reset, and now he's using a full Reflect Spear build, so he's using the Reflect W as well as the Reflect Jacket. Gonna present some challenges. We use our jacket to counter his jacket. Didn't do any bleed damage there, but ended up just using our jacket regardless. He uses his Reflect, which means that I need to hit some combos in between the CDs, because the longer that he has the CDs on that Reflect, the harder it's going to be for me to make this a good fight. Doing a good job of using his Reflect there. Right when it ends, I use my pounce. Great timing. We're going to hit him with 3 Qs. His cape wasn't actually fully reset, so we have an opportunity to finish this fight pretty quick. He uses Reflect one more time. We creep up on him, keeping great space. He uses his Reflect Jacket now. We're going to go ahead and just wait to use our pounce to finish the fight. GG's, strong fight, but the prowling overcomes the spear 20 times out of 10. But here we go. Our last fight here is a 1v1 with one of the best Bloodmoon staffs on America's server. Unlucky Death. He's going 5-4, 8-3. We are in 6-4, 8-3 Panther. Here we go. And Bloodmoons are just insane at brawling, as you'll see here. Ultimately, we want to make sure he's not able to get off that sustain as much with that blood pool, which provides that HP back every time he goes through us or through a mob. So Panther is a decent matchup actually because of the fact that we have high burst damage when you're using something like, you know, a spear or even a bloodletter against a build like this. Like, there's just absolutely no chance. That Bloodmoon is just so good at brawling. Very, very powerful weapon. You need to make sure that you're timing things well. You're using combos in response really well, otherwise you will get beaten by it. So look at that. I mean, even though we're arguably winning trades relatively well, we are still very much down. We end up coming back here using the cultist cow to our advantage. He uses his jacket to make sure that my execute doesn't pop from my 3 Qs. It's a close fight. I'm getting some of my charges back. He goes and uses some mobs for sustain right there using our W, and then we hit the 3Q, end it with an awesome Q in our human form as we get popped into our undead cape. So great fight. Unlucky Death is a beast. Thank you guys so much per usual. We have some incredible updates coming in the upcoming week. Stay tuned. Peace.